afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be witnessing the debate of our students in our motion, Differences in Individuality Are Something to Celebrate. Here is our moderator, Charlene, and together with us today, this afternoon, are our observers, Ma'am Melbourne, Sir Cruz, and Sir Eunice. Okay, are you ready? Ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to witness a debate with the theme, Differences in Individuality Are Something to Celebrate. And to formally open the discussion, let me first introduce the two opposing teams that will stand for their thoughts and opinions. On the affirmative side, we have Mr. Billy Vito, Mr. Noel Aceveda, Ms. Lauren Bustos, Ms. Gemma Iraila, Ms. Genevieve Pineda, and Ms. Ryan Mago. Also, we have Mr. Raymart Mendoza, Mr. Daryl Mercado, Ms. Diana Denise Rojas, Ms. Darren Castillo, Ms. Justine Masola, and Ms. Beverly Magbuo that will stand for the negative side. We also have the board of judges. We have Ms. Margie Ruiz, Mr. Dylan Ramirez, and Ms. Andrea Paula Machon. And now that our debaters are all ready, let the battle begin.
We have differences in individuality that are something to celebrate. Aspect of life. Religion is one of that. It is the cause of some misunderstanding to those people who had difference in it. And the solution is why we can have only one religion. Be reunited and considered past as ordinary days.
That your solution, forget past as an ordinary day? We have freedom to choose.
If we have one religion, we believe on one. Our advocacy are one. Our faith is being stronger, starting on each every one of us. Unless you lose it, that's the big challenge for you.
I am the one of them who agree in having celebration to our different aspect of life. Celebrating our differences will bring a good influence to our nationality. Example of this, when I am one of those who have a royal blood, then I go to other country, it will be my advantage because in that situation, I know my importance. They will treat me special because I am different from them. That's one of the reasons why I agree for having a celebration in individuality.
Is that so? Standing for the negative side, disqualification is trifling. Why? Because of that, each nationality will have an argument and they will contradict each other's belief, culture, and tradition because there is no interaction between them. And there is no unity behind this. And if there will be, it is not strong. And it will cause them to be disunited if they will continue to place their discrepancy in terms of their nationalities.
Yes, we need to celebrate our individuality because God gave us unique life. And always remember that you are absolutely unique because uniqueness is priceless. We are all different because we are all unique. And at the same time, it is great. About one's behavior, I agree that we should celebrate it. Know why? Because if we were all the same, do you think our life would be happy? Not of course. It would be so boring. What if we were all good and don't commit mistakes? Do you think you'd feel or learn the true essence of being individual?
If we're all the same, you can see yourself just by looking at me. Well, there would be no criticism because it will reflect to oneself. There would be no jealousy and security because what they have is also what you've got. People will act the same in one situation, that we live in one vision, in a particular goal in this life. In addition, life is like cooking. Why do we need to put other ingredients if we know that it will just ruin the taste? Now, Miss Gusto, how could you say that life will be boring?
Like what I've said lately, it's boring. Because if we were all the same, there would be no learning. Like challenges or sufferings in life.
Yes, you have a point there. But how about those who's different? They will get hurt. They might lose their self-esteem. Competition, hindrance, and unfair treatment will possibly affect them. The importance and abilities of a certain person will be set aside, and it will not be considered as good attitude talent perhaps.
How sure you are it could happen? For all I know, it is running through a person's mind. And according to Mr. Oliver James, why are you trying so hard to fit in when you're born to stand out?
Differences in stages of life or way of living is something to celebrate. Because whatever you've been through to your life, you still have to celebrate because you've got the difficulties that others can get through. Don't you think that other people might be insulted about that? Others are celebrating while others are suffering. How rude is that? Possibly, those low-profile citizens might feel pity for themselves. How they can feel happiness if you're in the stage of life having lots of problems they are facing with? Just smile and be thankful even you're facing a lot of problems or encountered some difficulties. Because that is part of life. That is only a challenge that will come to you and soon will pass. Remember, God will not give the challenge if we can handle because He knows our strengths and weaknesses. I don't think it's worth celebrating. As I observe in our society, many people got criticisms from what the way of living they have. Facing those challenges in life are much difficult, mostly when there is something or someone that brings you down. These differences only proves that discrimination are one of the factors that will affect our way of living. For me, differences in individuality are really something to celebrate. We should be thankful that we are different from the others. Because of these instances in our life, we were able to learn more from others' talents that we do not have in our own, as well as being inspired by them could be. But for me, others doesn't want to be compared as different from one another. It would be total disgust and insult at the same time if they were going to face compliments while they were suffering a hard time accepting the fact. An individual might feel insecurity when that particular person met somebody whose characteristics and qualities is what he or she exactly wants to have. Maybe the reason why God created us, just like in terms of talent, is for all of us to accept the fact and appreciate our own talent and unique self to contribute and share to others what we have, and with call for socialization and camaraderie that will unite people in one goal that in this beautiful world. So again, I agree that differences in individuality are really something to celebrate, especially in our talent. To my side, it is something to celebrate of having differences in individuality. In gender, according to the Bible, God made man on His own image, male and female, and said to be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. It means God created us and gave roles which is to fulfill duties and missions on earth. These missions and duties will be more successful if men's and women's power and ideas unite together. So we must cherish of having different gender. It's God's given all. And other than that, it is so boring if this world consists of one gender only. Am I right? I disagree with that. For me, it's better to celebrate similar gender instead of celebrating varieties of gender. You know why? Because just for example, group of all women, there would be no more circumstances or arguments because each of them know their likes and dislikes. And also one more thing, it will be easy for them to have a good communication, unity, and they can finish their task easily and successfully without the help of boys. Because we all know that boys are hard to understand, especially with their behaviors. Boys are too boastful, importunate, nasty, noisy, arrogant, and many other temperaments of men that causes misunderstanding between the relationship of men and women. And now let's hear some questions from our audience. For Miss Darren Bisto, how can you celebrate differences if it causes war and discrimination?
Let me tell you this. It is not a sin or a crime to be different. If you have something to be so that makes you different from everybody else, don't be ashamed and don't change. And it is up to you to handle that situation.
Mr. Sibeda, why do you think we need to celebrate differences if we already know that it's one of the reasons of discrimination?
Because celebrating is not literally delivered in sentence. It means accepting the fact and being contented.
To Miss Raila. Yes? Do you think that life is unfair when some other people was given something such as prosperous living? No. You know why? Let me tell you that life is not unfair. It depends on how we handle our situation. Why do you think we need to compare if we already know that other people will not like it? We need to compare it for them to know their mistakes and to make them learn. For Mr. Mercado, how would you say that differences in nationality can be a reason for having unitedness in every country?
I can say that differences in individuality in terms of nationality can make every country to be disunite. Because as we all know, every country has their own tradition, belief, and culture. So from that, there is no interconnection between them. And it will cause them to have an argument and contradict.
Thank you everyone for sharing your questions. And now, dear judges, what can you say about the pieces of evidence that the affirmative and negative group have presented? So, thank you and congratulations to all of you. Being different from the other people is normal. We can take it away from ourselves. And we are born with it. It is just on how we handle ourselves from being different from the other people and on how we socialize from them. It depends on us on how we use our differences from the other people. If to help them or to discriminate and to criticize them. It is on our hands. So as for that, I will choose the affirmative. And now let's hear what Mr. Dylan will say.
Thank you and good afternoon to all of us. Based on what I've heard, both of you guys presented it very well. But for me, the negative side proves it much better. Because I agree with the statement of Ms. Leandra Rojas that why do you need to put some other ingredients if you know that it will just ruin the taste. So I made my mind and I create my decision. And my decision goes to negative side.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. And now, your turn, Ms. Andrea.
Thank you. A pleasant morning, a pleasant afternoon to all of us. First of all, I would like to congratulate both teams, affirmative side and negative side, who presented the debate and gave their statement confidently about the topic differences in individuality are something to celebrate. Now, as a judge, I decided that affirmative dominates the debate because, as we all know, God created us and all of us live on earth with many differences in terms of nationality, religion, individuality, stages of life, gender, and talent. And by that differences, every people have their own differences and have their own responsibility and purpose in life. Again, affirmative side dominates the debate.
Thank you, judges. Now, for me, there's nothing wrong in celebrating the differences in individuality because I believe that being different or unique perhaps is one of God's precious gifts. Meanwhile, the jealousy, insecurity, and other different negative thoughts that running through our minds are just the result of having a hard time accepting the fact that we're different from each other. So then, the affirmative group wins the argumentation. Congratulations to all of you. And now, that's how our debate ends. Thank you, and God bless us all.